No one could have known it then, but when Daytona National Speedway opened in 1959, it marked the beginning of a new era in American motorsports. As a replacement for the old beach road course a few miles to the east, the opening of the high-bank 2.5-mile Florida Tri-Oval represented the leading edge of a wave of construction of big paved speed palaces. Before Daytona, Indianapolis was the only American oval track longer than 1.25 miles, and most racing took place on dirt ovals 1 mile or less in length. From the very first Daytona 500, won by Lee Petty in a 3-way photo finish, those high banks proved a favorable venue for wide-open stock car racing. Daytona kicked off the growth of NASCAR as we know it today. Daytona's infrastructure has grown and changed to such a degree that it'd be almost unrecognizable today to someone who hasn't seen it in the last 20 years. It's an amazing motorsports facility. One thing that hasn't changed over the past 6 decades, no driver can consider his or her career complete without notching a victory at Daytona. From Dale Earnhardt, who captured the 500 in 1998 after coming so close so many times, to 14-year-old kart racers whose racing resumes are just beginning. A victory at Daytona is a mark of distinction. Tonight, it's the PSRA Shootout, qualifying and duels. Next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the virtual Daytona International Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits Network, joined in the broadcast booth, hopefully full-time this season, by Zach Millett. Zach, what's happening?
Hey, Steve. How we doing, man?
We're doing good. Thanks for joining us. Good to have you here on board for a full season of racing here in the PSRA Open ARCA Series. Fixed racing here tonight. A little different as far as the shootout goes. We're not even in the ARCA car, even though this is the ARCA series, so to speak, but they're going to run the Gen 4. It's something that the Scar Boys did back in the day. They ran the 87s instead of whatever Cup version they were racing on at the time, so shaking it up, a little bit of fun here tonight. We'll see how things pan out. Race details this evening: 76-degree ambient temperature, 84% humidity, cloudy skies, 13-mile-per-hour breeze, track temperature 100 degrees. I believe the shootout tonight, only 10 laps, so it is indeed just that, a shootout. Then we'll have single-car pole qualifying for next week's opening race at Daytona, followed by the duels to set the starting order. It's going to be a fun one here tonight. This is the only league that I've broadcast for that does it this way, and I love the fact that they do. Really adds a real-life element to things. What do you think, Zach?
It does, yeah. It really changes it up, and it's cool they're using the high-power cars here just for this. It'll make things very interesting, I'm sure.
It's back when racing was racing, not just entertainment, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this is going to be awesome. I can't wait. And 10 laps? Man.
Fast times in the session. Colt Ansley fastest with a 48.37. And mind me, my little mistake here. We've changed some of the color numberings here from the championship race, and I thought I had that fixed, but apparently not. So we'll get that squared away here. They should all be yellow instead of a couple of white ones mixed in, but we'll get that fixed right away. And just like that, she's fixed.
Well, you probably get some hate from the Diversity Club on that one, Steve, but it does look better.
Oh, my goodness. So it looks like the warm-up session is officially in the books here, closed out, ready to go. And I believe the starting lineup is predetermined for tonight's event, so no qualifying for the shootout to speak of, so we'll get right to it here. Let's look at our starting grid. On the pole position, the number 46 from Bradford Aero Works, it's Will Jones. Outside pole, the number 25 from Bobby Hamilton Racing, it's Bobby Hamilton Jr. Row number 2, Derek Runge in the 42, and good old Mark Truxell starting in that second row and fourth. Row 3 belongs to Josh Ingram and Keenan Kimber, Corey Bigley and Mike Fahey, 7th and 8th. Ninth starter is Colt Ansley. 10th will go to Will Hewitt. 11th, David Bradford. A.J. Rogers from Stinger Motorsports. Looks like he's going to round out the field in the 12th position. Short field, but this is how the shootout was back in the day, or the Clash as they once called it. Small fields, quick race, get it over with, but a great way to kickstart the season.
Yeah, especially these cars, it's going to be insane. And these are so challenging to bump draft here, Steve. I haven't run them in a while, but boy, you can really get under somebody's rear end. I hate saying that out loud. But yeah, you could really lift them up and turn them pretty easily here. It's going to be fun to watch.
Now, my memory is starting to fade a little bit. Does this predate the tandem draft?
I think it does.
I think the tandem was back to the ugliest iteration, the COT car that we had.
Yeah, I definitely don't miss that thing. Look like a bunch of imports out there racing around.
So once again, 10 laps the race distance here tonight. This is the shootout and the shootout alone. Stay tuned post-race. We're going to take a drawn-out break because we'll set up another session here for qualifying and then ultimately the duel session. So stay with us for that. Qualifying again, single car qualifying for the pole position for next week at Daytona. Something you don't see very often here in the iRacing sim. It takes a little bit of finagling and some work by the admins to make it happen all smoothly, but it's a very cool thing to watch. It's a little different. It's a bit of a throwback, but then of course we do have the duels following that. So if single car runs aren't your thing, well, don't worry. We've got some fun for you later on. Field of 12 rolling into turn number 3 here behind the iRacing pace car. Lights are off, so when we come back around for the green flag, we'll be racing for 10 laps here at Daytona.
What are we thinking here, Steve?
Oh, boy.
You got a pick?
Colt looked quick in practice, but I'm going to go with the 58 of Corey Bigley.
I think you got to be there, even though it's 10 laps. Got to be there to win it. Coming from the back, David Bradford.
Old DB, all right.
Ready, green, 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 green.
Green flag in the air, and we are racing for the first time this season in the PSRA Open ARCA Series. Going to take at least a whole lap to get these cars up to full song. Restricted engines here. Yes, this is back from the days of legitimate restrictor plates, but once they're up and running, they'll be cruising around this place. Back to the tri-oval, Will Jones with the race lead, but not by much over Bobby Hamilton Jr. You see the cars dancing around as they roll through the tri-oval for the first time. Zach, as you mentioned, a lot of power in these cars versus the ARCA car, but the biggest contention here is you actually got to drive these race cars on this old wore-out racetrack. That's the other caveat. We're on the old wore-out surface here at Daytona. As you'll notice, the grandstands on the back straightaway, that was there in the late 90s. Not so much these days. It's all billboards.
It seems proper, doesn't it, Steve, to have these old school cars on this track? I mean, you can see how loose they are wiggling back and forth. It's a handful.
Well, you go way back in time. I mean, these cars just were not made to handle. They try to get them as low to the ground as possible to maximize that straightaway speed, limit the drag that they produce. But in turn, they don't feel good to drive. It bounce all over the racetrack. You feel every nook and cranny that is in the racing surface. And you'll see it getting into the corners. The rear end of that race car bouncing up and down, just trying to stay connected. Bobby Hamilton Jr., meanwhile, has taken over the race lead. Will Jones, Mark Truxell, second, third. 65 of Josh Ingram working to the outside. Little connection issue for Ingram there a moment ago. Very dangerous to have that happen here when we're super speedway racing.
Oh, especially with 10 laps and you're pushing every second. That could be a disaster. Hopefully it goes away for him here.
Certainly no time to get settled in with less than 8 laps to go. Bobby Jr. out in front.
Oh, man. You could just see these cars bouncing all over the place. It's so sketchy, but it's so fun.
Going to the outside, Will Jones with a run. Some help from Mark Truxell. He'll get the job done. Might have enough pace and momentum to get clear. Does he stay up top? Or does he swing it to the bottom? He's going to stay there with his drafting partner, the 5 of Mark Truxell, just to the outside of Bobby Jr.
See what Truxell does here. You think he's going to stay with him or drop to the bottom and go for it?
There he goes.
There he goes. Read him like a book.
Knows damn well Bobby Jr. is going to help him out when he gets an opportunity, because if it helps the 5, it'll help the 25.
Here he comes.
Ingram in the wall, a little bit contact, and making it. Bobby Hamilton Jr. goes around with others. The 56 impact to the inside wall. Big time damage on the 25 machine. No caution as of yet. Bradford involved as well. We stay green, so out in front it's Will Jones, Mark Truxell, and now the 1 of A.J. Rogers, who's got to get that number fixed, but the caution now does come out.
Position. I know, man. I think we need to start putting like an age limit on racing or something, you know?
So coming to 5 laps to go, the caution is out. Want to make note here, the 1 painted on the A.J. Rogers machine. He took that number as he was the champion at the conclusion of season number 2. So he's Formula 1 style, opting for that number 1 entry. But in the timing tower, you'll see it's still marked as a 17. So we'll have to get that corrected here going into next season. No biggie. Sometimes these things happen. You can't catch everything every week.
Hey, it's the first race, man. It's the first time we're here. It's allowed to have a couple of things to fix.
So Will Jones still a race leader, and timing and scoring a little wonky now as well with the timing of when that caution came out. Looks like it should cycle back around. So again, race distance is 10 laps. Now there is provisions for up to 3 green, white, checkered finishes, which, given the distance of this race, is very interesting because it could, in effect, double the length of this race if we end up using all 3 of them.
Can you imagine?
So let's go back, see if we can get a better look what happened here. Put us under yellow here for the first time tonight. Caution came out very late, so let's see if we can find a better angle on it. All right, we'll back this up a little further. It started with the 65, got in behind Will Jones, may have lost the nose off that car, put it in the outside wall right in front of David Bradford, who, as you said, Zach, was a factor. He was right there charging towards the front, got crossed up, then checked up, but then the 65 got into him again, and then there was another driver rolling through. That might have been the 86 of Cole Ansley, got into the back of Bradford and sent him down to the bottom of the racetrack. That's when Bobby got collected, as did the 56 of Josh Ingram.
Yeah, I think the Red Bull car, the 56 of Josh there? That was a heck of a job by him to avoid that. He got on the binders. Oh, no, that's 56 spinning a pit road. The Red Bull machine did a heck of a job getting on the binders and stopping before he made contact there with the cat car.
That would have been Corey Bigley in the 58. So as they run, obviously some drivers opting for pit lane, those involved in that incident. Again, a small field, this being the shootout comprised of pole winners, race winners, and past champions. So it's interesting. It appears we've already gone to extra laps because we got to the 5 to go mark. Now it's showing 6 to go. Guess we got a green, 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 white checker.
Definitely tells the first race of the season here, Steve. I'm having a bunch of technical difficulties myself.
Well, what's going on your end? Well, we got the time to talk about it. It's under yellow. Pace car lights are still on. Zach Millett having some technical issues in the background there, so you won't necessarily hear from him right away. He's trying to get that worked out. So the lights on the pace car have gone out, so next time by it'll be 5 laps to go.
It definitely brings the tempo down here, Steve.
And I got a correction here, taking a look at the league details for tonight's race. They do show 3 attempts at a green-white checkered finish, but they also do not count the caution laps in this 10-lap race. So we're going to get at least 10 full laps of green flag action before this one comes to a close. The old 19 of Mike Fahey there on the outside. Row number 3. So as we get ready to go back green here, it'll be Will Jones, A.J. Rogers, Corey Bigley, Will Hewitt, Mike Fahey, Derek Runge, Cole Ansley, Mark Truxell, David Bradford still in it, Keenan Kimber, Joshua Ingram, and Bobby Hamilton Jr. at the back of the field in 12th. As it appears, though, everybody's still on the lead lap. So this race certainly not over for anybody. And they do have unlimited faster pairs, so these cars are fixed and ready to go.
That's beautiful. That's good. That means it could be anybody here. You only need about a half lap to get back to the front, so let's see what happens here.
For a 10-lap race, I don't hate it.
Green flag.
Green back in the air. Oh, A.J. Rogers slips up off the bottom just a touch, narrowly avoiding contact with Will Jones. Now Corey Bigley all over the back bumper of Jones through turns 1 and 2. Bigley got shuffled out. He's going to fall all the way back to the 11th position. Field back to the line. 4 laps to go. And real loose at the front of the field. Will Jones hangs onto it. Zach Millett, did you see that?
I did see that, man. I keep thinking it's Rick Mast out there in that 19, but Fahey's doing some work right now.
Fahey's pushing. You see the same thing there from the 42 on the back bumper of Cole Ansley. Derek Runge in that number 42.
I'm not sure if I'm ready to see a Ford Taurus win Daytona against Steve, but it's going to happen.
Here we go.
Oh, no, rewind.
Fahey, the only Ford in the field here tonight.
Oh, look at him bounce around.
Oh, Oh, this is not going to end well. They keep this up, and Bobby slips up the racetrack, gets into Bradford. Bigley goes down, gets into the 65, and they all keep it straight miraculously.
Well, that doesn't tell you what kind of talent is in this league. That was incredible.
Oh, there it is. Trouble behind. 65 at Kimber in the wall. No, Josh Ingram and David Bradford are collected. Caution does not come out. Back out front, Mike Fahey, your new leader, followed in tow by the champion A.J. Rogers and then Will Hewitt. That's your top three. Big bump from Rogers down the back straightaway. Brandon Minnick in the chat wanting to have a private meeting with Mr. Millett post-race.
Mr. Minnick, good to see you, buddy.
2 laps to go, and Will Hewitt now your new leader. Fahey gets shuffled out of the draft, goes from the lead all the way down to 7th. May lose another spot here in a minute. Now the battle for the race lead. It's Will Hewitt and Mark Truxell. Don't ever count out the 5 of Mark Truxell, especially on a super speedway. Not really the style racing he's used to with such a short distance of 10 laps. But he's up there leading this race. Started in the second row, so it's been a strong go for Mark Truxell. Can he finish it off?
I see Truxell get a win here.
Field out of turn number 4, shucking and jiving down the short chute into the tri-oval while Barney waves the white flag. Final lap here from Daytona in the PSRA shootout. Side by side for the lead. Will Hewitt on the bottom, Mark Truxell up top, and they're double file all the way back to 8th and 9th. Final lap down the Daytona International Speedway backstretch. Going to the outside. Closes the door. Cole Ansley tried to do it. Truxell tried to shut the door, but not there in time, and there's trouble behind on the last lap. 3 wide for the race lead. They're going to run back to the checkers just like they did back in the day.
Oh, man, look at this. They're going to race to the line 3 wide. No help for anybody. It's just pure power.
Cole Ansley might have the space to come down. No, Truxell comes there, but coming to the start-finish line, it's going to be Cole Ansley by half a car length.
Wow.
Why don't we run a league with these cars?
I wish we could just do 3 or 4 of those every night, Steve. I'd be more than happy to cover that.
Yeah, do 4 10-lap races. Cole Ansley, your PSRA shootout winner.
Man, the move that Colt made off 2 down the backstretch, get just enough room for the car length on top of Truxell. That was the race-winning move right there, right before the chaos happened.
Mark tried to close the door and throw the block, but didn't catch it in time. They made a little bit of contact, at least it appeared.
Man, I really hope in Colt's interview he's in a Ward Burton kind of accent.
Yeah, he's going to stuff his cheeks full of cotton balls.
Yeah, I hope so.
Wow, what a race, guys. Nicely done. Way to start the season.
Old Albert Anderson in the chat. Good to hear from him.
Hi, Albert. Thanks for checking in, brother.
Burnouts just hit different than these cars do.
Cole Ansley stops it there at start-finish. Lights it back up.
Good one shot, Steve, right there.
I don't know what throwback scheme that's from, but if it's a TBR motor, don't blow it up. Well, that'll do it here from Daytona. We're going to step aside. Stay with us. We're not done. We got lots more to go. We've got the qualifying session for the pole position for next week, followed by the duels to set the field. So stay with us. We're going to take a break, but we will be back. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started.
Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook. Back at Daytona International Speedway after a thrilling PSRA shootout won by Colt Ansley. We're going to get into single-car qualifying runs here in just a moment or two. Ken Couch will be the first driver to roll off. We do have an order of appearance here, so we'll try to make sure that's all squared away. Some drivers opting not to qualify, at least one confirmed for now. I think Drew Blaze opting to just kind of start from the rear and call it a day. It's very interesting. I don't know if it was it Drew Blaze? It was Drew Blaze. And Mr. Millett, did we lose you?
No, I am here. I am here.
And there we are.
Enhance.
So qualifying session about to get underway. Oh, open qualifying. Well, this will be fun. I thought we were doing single well, actually, no. They're doing this a different way, so it works out. So Ken Couch is going to be the first driver to roll off. Now I remember what they're doing. There's a way behind this.
They can launch them whenever they want.
Probably the purpose of the drivers' meeting is it looks like the 73 there, Jeremiah Holt, maybe didn't get the message.
The memo.
Mike Fahey in the chat says he's forcing Drew to qualify, so we might see Drew Blaze after all.
That a boy. Well done.
So coming up to speed, the 08 of Ken Couch. Ken Satellite and Potable Water Hauling. Familiar sponsor, but a brilliantly painted scheme on that Ford Mustang. Wonder if that's from Fahey's Race Wraps. Mike can probably confirm. He's in the chat right now.
Usually when it looks as good as that, it's usually from the Fahey camp. He does good work.
Now, we're obviously in a different race car for this session because the Open ARCA Series runs the new ARCA car that iRacing released somewhat recently. Want to make note, we do have partly cloudy skies, but the track temperature very warm compared to the shootout. We're at 132 degrees. Fahey jumping in, confirming he did the paint scheme on Ken Couch's ride. Looks good, Mike. Looks real good. Got a mixture of manufacturers here this season. Last year it was Ford and Chevy, not a single Toyota in the field that I can recall.
Nice to see him switch it up a little bit. It's nice to see every manufacturer out there.
Couch's first lap, 50.489. Likely to see lap times about 4 seconds quicker than that for the full field. Ken Couch to finish up his qualifying effort down to the flat of the racetrack. He crosses the line. Where does he check in? Does he improve? No, a little bit slower by about a tenth.
And I think it has to do with cutting the apron there, coming to his second lap. You just shave so much speed doing that, unfortunately. I'm kind of thinking the first lap tonight's going to be kind of where it's at. Tire pressure's being a little lower, keeping the splitter down right on the ground.
Terry Wilson next to run in the 3. Yeah, good thing it's partly cloudy. You wouldn't be able to see a thing with all the chrome on that machine.
Now it's chromed out and it's got Dale on the side, so it looks pretty solid.
Nothing wrong with that. Those of you just joining us, you missed a thrilling PSRA Open Shootout. Won by Colt Ansley, number 86. But stick around if you're not a fan of single car qualifying. We got the duels right after. I think Ice is Colt Ansley over in the chat. Colt, let's see, you're not due to qualify, I don't think, for a little while. In fact, I don't even see him on the list. Oh, there he is.
Towards the end.
Yep, three-quarters of the way down. So, Colt, if you want to jump up in the waiting room, we'll gladly pull you up and give you an interview. You deserve it. .51.049 for Terry Wilson. Puts him second quick for now. Rodney Roberts will be next to roll off. Roberts on the Speedway in the number 11. Well, let's try it. He's not in the waiting room here. Oh, there he goes. Now we'll pull Colt up. And we'll get a word here with Colt Ansley, the winner of the shootout. Colt, Steve and Zach in the booth. You got me?
10-4, I got you.
Colt, congratulations, man. A thrilling 10-lap shootout to start this season off. Didn't see too much of you, but 10 laps. You got to the front, made a brazen move to the outside of Mark Truxell down the back straightaway. You tried to throw that block a little bit late, but you managed to get your way through and picked up the checkered flag, man. Walk us through the closing laps in that shootout.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. This is the first time I'd ever ran the 4 car, like ever. I'd bought it, but I just had never sat in it. And yeah, no, I was joking around with a couple of guys. I was like, man, if every time I win, there's no broadcast or something. So, but no, it was a pretty wild finish there. I just saw the wreck happen in the background, knew we were 3 wide, and was just like, if I squeeze the 5 down, he'll squeeze the 33 down, and none of us had any help, so it was just who could drag back to the line, and that's what happened. I kept trying to push Mark down, and Will's momentum died, and then Mark had a surge there at the end. He was coming back at me. I was like, oh nope, this is where I lose it. But 2 for 2 so far. Really a fun one to watch to start the season as we get ready now. Obviously, we're in the Gen 4 car for the shootout. Now we're back in our traditional ARCA series car. What differences, I know you only got the one race in the 4, but what differences do you really see between the two of them? Turn your force feedback down. I was running my usual force feedback, and I thought I was benching 250, and I weigh about 145. I thought I was benching 250 for 30 minutes straight, so I had to turn my force feedback way down just to not rip my arms off. Track was bumpy, so everybody on the bottom was hitting the bumps down there and was hopping up the track. I know I ping-ponged off a couple guys in the middle because they were sliding up, and then I was sliding up into the guys up top. So the fact we only had the 2 wrecks we did have was just shows how good everybody here in the league is. And I do have to point out, I had help tonight. My teammate Mac Nicholson, hell of a spotter. He talked me through that race. I mean, like Brett Griffin, he was just telling me where everybody was, where the runs were coming from, when to squeeze down, when to let him go. He was doing a great job. So he really won that race more than I did. I was just along for the ride.
So race 1 in the books. You got the win. What are your odds for picking up pole here tonight in the ARCA car?
Well, I don't know. Judging by the times that we've run, I see a 50-18 from Rodney Roberts. So we'll see. We kind of have a pot going around for the winners, so or for who can win the dual, pole, shootout, and 500. Not expecting it, so if I can get in the top 10 though, I'll be happy. And then race. Obviously, we're gonna race for the duel, so it's all for the front row. And if you don't do anything there, we just rely on our race setup and racecraft and see what happens.
That's all we can do. Colt, congratulations again on the win here in the shootout, man. Who else you want to thank?
Just my new teammates this year, Chris, JJ Holt, he's new to the league, Matt Nicholson, refired up an old team, Outcast Racing. Some of the OG fans here might remember that, but switched, big changes this year, switching to Chevy, and kind of an alliance with Bobby Hamilton Racing, and Matt taking a big jump, following me over here, so big shout out to those guys. They've been working really hard. I've been out of town and traveling a bunch this week, so I haven't even had time to work on a bunch of stuff. So Matt's really picked up the slack there. And everybody who races and who's a part of the league, you two for broadcasting, y'all do a great job. And all the people at home watching, couldn't do it without them either.
All right, Colt. Well, again, job well done, man. Thanks for talking to us, and good luck here in qualifying a little bit.
Thanks, man.
Cole Ansley, your winner of the shootout, getting set to get set in his race car to run single car qualifying. Right now, the 11 of Rodney Roberts' fastest, as Colt had mentioned, a 50.182. Brandon Minnick just ran some laps, but did not register a time officially. Didn't necessarily see anything, Zach, on my end that would have caused him not to take a time officially, but any type of off-track or contact with the wall would certainly negate the lap. Did you see anything?
I really didn't see anything. I'm wondering if his pit exit was clean. That'd be enough to kind of wash the lap out, but I don't know.
Well, nonetheless, he'll start near the tail of the field depending on how his duel goes in next week's Daytona race. Blaze goes second quick on his first lap, 50.418. He's got work to do if he's going to pick it up. Most of the drivers so far we've seen, their second lap has not been faster. Now, some of the reasons for that, considering that heat increases tire pressure. The tire pressure going up, of course, increases the circumference of that tire, which in turn raises the rear of that race car's ride height. It puts that big spoiler in the air a bit more, and it will cause a little bit more drag and slow the overall pace, especially on the straightaways. That could be why we're seeing that second lap slower. Again, this is an open series, so these drivers are able to make adjustments to the race car, so that may vary from one car to the next.
I love how it says multiple championships now washed up. That's awesome. That is faster the second time by for Drew Blaze.
Picked up about, not even a full tenth, but still quicker second lap. He'll just get himself a better time here on lap 2. Jeremiah Holt next to roll out on the Speedway in the number 73 Chevrolet. Holt looking like he's on a pretty good run here, keeping the car pinned down right to the yellow line in the corners. We'll see what kind of lap he pulls here on lap number 1. Cross start finish goes Holt. Second quick with a 2:52. First lap's pretty smooth here.
Yeah, that's a really good looking first lap here.
This is what I want to see, because I'm not 100% certain what Roberts had. Let's see, actually, you can probably pull it up. Yeah, lap 2 was faster for Roberts.
You notice his first lap was significantly slower, though. It was like a 65, so he really just turned it on for that second lap the whole time.
Well, might have
As
used
Holt
that.
doesn't have the triable here.
That's interesting. A little slower,
Cost
about
him.
half a tenth. Still second quick, not a shabby lap by any means. Andrew Phipps next to roll. Andrew in the number 57, occupied by A.J. Rogers last season. Rogers taking on the 1 as the champion. Again, kind of a bit of a road course Grand Prix style throwback. Champion has the right to take number 1. He kind of reached out to the league during the offseason to see if that was going to be okay. They, of course, agreed to it. So A.J. Rogers will be in the 1. Phipps now in the 57. Phipps sporting the Circle B die-cast colors. Back to the line. Phipps crosses the stripe. 6 quick, 51.22.
I like how Phipps is really setting up for this lap, though. He got a really nice run off turn 4. Drove it down real nice and smooth through the tri-oval. We'll see what he does here.
Vincent Short in the chat, who is notorious for being fast on the super speedways. He says, calling it Bradford for the pole. Well, Vince, there's 2 of them out there this week. Braden and David. But with that said, he says, milk the first lap, less than full speed, then pin it on the second.
That's definitely a guy you want to listen to. He's notorious for qualifying well at these type of places. And I know a couple new tricks at these places myself after this past year racing with the Conti guys.
We'll talk
A
later.
couple secrets, Steve. Yep.
Not that I've turned a wheel in a while. I think last wheel I turned was 5 laps at Vegas while I was in Vegas for SEMA. 5th quick for Phipps, 50.843. Ryan Dunkelberger next to run in the 55. Let's try out the drone camera. Big check up there, up the racetrack, trying to keep it off the wall. Another checkup. First lap, 51.219. Slowest of those that have taken the time so far. Certainly the
Definitely
slowest
a
first
throwaway.
lap.
Yeah, definitely a throwaway. We'll see. He's pinning it down pretty well in the bottom there, though, Steve.
The old way that I recall, at least getting out of turn number 2 like that, is you want to keep it low, but let it, open up the wheel just a touch. Maybe take it half a car width off the bottom so you're not scrubbing speed too much. He kept it pinned down all the way on exit. We'll see if it makes a difference here. Certainly going to be a faster lap than lap 1, but let's see where he lands.
See if he's going to cut, and he does not. Last second he does.
I might have scrubbed
That transition will
some speed.
hurt.
5th
Yeah.
quick, though, 8:41. Not too bad. Braden Bradford now on the racetrack, the number 84.
Steve, I can't get over the difference in time so far with the 7 cars on the board. I mean, those are really big gaps for Daytona.
Well, again, we're not on a fixed setup in this series, so the drivers can play with things, kind of get that car to bottom out almost, to get to bare minimum ride heights the best that they can, whether it's tire pressure or suspension adjustments, but it's how brazen you want to go with it. It's not like it's an impound, so they can make changes to the race setup later on. That's something I wish iRacing would be able to integrate, was if you got a setup for qualifying, you got an impound, and you got to live with it for the race.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fantastic. That'd be a lot of fun.
First lap for Bradford, fifth quick, 50.637.
That car definitely looking smooth. You don't see a lot of weaving back and forth. That thing just kind of looks like a missile.
I'm pretty sure this is David Bradford's son, and he's got some experience real-life racing, so certainly got his dad to lean on for tips and tricks, so he's not going to be a slouch. And there he goes, front row for Bradford, 50.214. Braden Bradford just misses pole position.
I tell you what, Steve, if he cut that tri-oval with a smooth transition, it would have been the pole lap right there.
31 thousandths of a
out.
second, the only difference there, so you very well could be right. Mike Fahey next to get out on the racetrack. He's out there somewhere. There he is. Fahey in the Taco Casa Ford Mustang. Fahey active duty U.S. Air Force. 50.43, lap 1, puts him P5.
That's one of the stronger first laps we've seen so far.
It's interesting, too, because, Vince, of course, he's great on these super speedways. He has some good advice in there, but there's so many different things that you can do, tips and tricks, Zach, as you even talked about running with the Conti guys. But there's not necessarily a wrong way to do it. If at the end of the day, the lap time shows a good result, then it works. Hate to sound like John Madden there, good football's about good football.
Yeah.
Here's a guy that when he runs, he goes faster. Good transition for Fahey down to the apron of the racetrack. Crosses the line to finish lap number 2. Still fifth quick. Improved, but not by much. 50.415 for Mike Fahey. Josh Ingram now next to roll, the number 56. Gotta say, I'd like to pull Rodney Roberts up here to get a word with him as he currently is on the provisional poll, but I do not find him in the Discord at the moment. So, Rodney, if you're listening, if you could jump into the broadcast waiting room when you come back, we'd love to get a word with you here while you're sitting on the poll. Maybe sitting on the bowl, I don't know. Colt Ansley says, I forgot to do my Ward Burton impression.
Oh, man.
Well, now you got to win the poll, Colt. Then you can come up and talk to us again. That or the duel or both.
I was going to say, I'm hoping he's got some more opportunities here.
That's it. We're going to find out in this session here if there's still an opportunity for someone to win the big money here. If Colt win the pole position here tonight and then go on to win his duel and then win the race next week at Daytona, there's a few $100 in it there for these guys if they can make that work.
Which I think it's worth it. I mean, that's a heck of a feat. If you can pull that off, that's worth the money.
Well,
I hope to see you. That'd be sweet.
It's a challenge, but it's like the No Bowl Million. That was hard to do too, and guys pulled it off.
It can be done.
Ingram done with his lap, does not clock an official time. He may have had an issue with the blend line as well. So Ingram wraps up his lap. It's going to be Frank Griffith next on the Speedway.
You know, we did some open qualifying like this in a different league some time back. And I remember myself and a few other cars got, it wasn't a black flag, but our laps didn't count. The same way these two cars look so far. So I'm trying to remember what happened to get an idea for this.
Well, I mean, they can ding you for speeding on pit road. They can ding you for an unsafe pit exit. That would usually be a blend line violation. Other than that,
that's the usual suspect.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most likely issue there. We don't really catch these guys until they're beyond that. Once you get past the first driver, Griffith's first lap 10th quick with a 51-23. That is. It's hard to say. I'm not seeing any black flags when that comes up, but Griffith officially locks in one lap here. Looks like Rodney Roberts is in the Discord here, so we'll pull Rodney up into the booth. Hopefully we don't surprise him here. But Rodney, it's Steve and Zach with Track Limits. You in the booth?
Yes, sir.
Rodney, just wanted to get word with you here. You've got a pretty good lap going in qualifying, 50.182. Currently good enough for pole by about 31 thousandths over Braden Bradford. If you care to share, what are some of the tips and tricks of going fast here in single car runs?
Mostly it's just getting a good run off of 4 on that second lap and everything else, and hold a steady wheel and get to the bottom and try not to move up and down in the turns and try to keep the speed up.
Well, certainly looking forward to how the rest of this session goes out. Either way, we're going to see you in the duels, but pretty sure that front row will be locked in once qualifying comes to a conclusion, man. Wish you the best of luck to hang on to it.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
It's Rodney Roberts, current provisional pole sitter, a lap of 50.182. Braden Bradford was awful close to knocking him off the top spot, but just didn't quite have enough. We did see one minor mistake that could have made the difference, but we'll never know. Chris Klein now on the track in the United Towns number 51. United Towing, sorry.
Be kind of sad seeing this thing run around come race time without his old dancing partner, DW.
Yeah, DW, I think, has officially retired, and that is not Darrell Walsh. We're talking about Derek Welch, founder of Dumb Thumbs Racing League. Spent some time racing with us last year, and Klein goes outside pole with a 208. 26 thousandths off pole.
If he can keep it straight here and keep it smooth and somewhat match that first lap and then cut that apron properly, this could be your pole lap here.
Track temperature remaining the same here. Static weather, but track temp can change. Little up off the bottom there, but you don't want to try and correct it. You kind of sleep in the bed that you made there. Once you get down to the line or as close to it as you're going to get, you don't want to put more wheel into it because that's just going to scrub off more speed. Late entry to this apron here in the tri-oval. Where does he go? Still second, lost a little time. Real consistent laps, though, out of Chris Klein. He'll stay second quick. Dominic Bettini will roll off next. Mike Fahey in the chat. Gotta say, those track limit banners look good on the track. Boy, they sure do.
Yes, they do.
My guess is Fahey probably made them, too. Much appreciated, sir. We're going to pull Chris Klein up into the booth, just fresh off the racetrack from his outside pole run. Chris, it's Steve and Zach at Track Limits. You got us? Chris Klein, you there? We're going to pull him back down to the waiting room here. He might be catching his breath. Bettini across the stripe here, lap 1, 8th quick, 50.763. Got to give a hand here to the race admins for setting all this up the way that they do. We've always, maybe not always, but originally when we first tried to do this single car qualifying session, it was a little bit of a challenge trying to get figured it out how to set the session up properly. And it's a challenge him especially because he's also trying to compete in this series. As Bettini goes pole, 50.174, a huge increase on lap number 2. Dominic Bettini knocks Roberts off the top spot. Wow.
Boy, heck of a lap. Heck of a lap. You see what he did coming off 2 and off 4? He was doing what you mentioned before by straightening the wheel out off exit instead of just hugging that yellow line. I think that was the difference.
I'm telling you, it makes a difference. It's minor, but you know, a half a tenth here or half a tenth there, you can see it. He got the pole by 8/1000ths of a second. We'll see if he can hang on to it as Alan DeFries, a veteran of this series, back out on the racetrack, try and give it another go.
Big fan of this paint scheme. This thing looks absolutely awesome.
Alan DeFries with the Freedom colors on board. Absolutely love it. I'd love to get a word with Dominic Bettini as well if we get a chance, but he's also not available in the Discord voice channels right now. So Dominic, if you happen to pop in, shoot us a message, even in the general, let us know. Bettini and Roberts are teammates, something to take note of, so clearly they've been doing some work together. First lap for Allen was a 50.43, gets him into the top 10. Yeah, this is all really to set the field for the duels, which are coming up next. Front row will be the only drivers locked in. DeFries across the line. Where does he go? P6 picks up about a 10th. Keenan Kimber now out on the track. And we've got Dominic Bettini available. We'll pull our provisional pole sitter now up into the broadcast booth. Dominic and Steve and Zach in the Track Limits booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. Y'all hear me all right?
Yeah, here you go. Dominic, a crazy fast lap here in your qualifying session puts you on provisional pole for the time being. 50.174, just edging out teammate Roberts by 8/1000ths of a second. You guys clearly have been working together on this. The car's fast by itself. How's it going to run in the race?
In the practice runs that we had, it run really well. Honestly, I just needed to knock my buddy Rodney off there. I knew I can run faster than him, so I went ahead and did it. But yeah, that car handles like a dream right now. These ARCA cars are really weird to, shove sometimes, but I feel like we've got a lot of control with our cars and handling's pretty good. So, yeah, I'm excited for this duels coming up here in a minute.
Now, as far as the duels are concerned, if you and teammate Roberts sit on the front row here, you don't need to worry too much about it. Obviously, we're not having to worry about wadding up a race car because we really don't need to worry about fixing these things after the fact. But how does being on that front row change your approach to the duels, or does it at all?
I'm out here to race, first and foremost, so, I don't want to just hold back in the duels and just ride around. There's no point in that, so I'm here to have some fun. But yeah, it was a bummer not being in the shootout this year, so I needed to try to lock myself into getting into that somehow. So hopefully a poll here will help me get some eligibility for the next year's.
Still some heavy hitters to come here in qualifying as Kimber goes 5th quick with a 2:36. But Dominic, a well of a lap. Congratulations, man. We'll see if it holds up.
All right, thank you. Y'all take care.
Dominic Bettini, top spot for now as Kimber finishes up his qualifying attempt. It's going to be Will Hewitt next out onto the racetrack. We'll see what Will can lay down.
Yeah, we know this guy's fast at these racetracks. He's always in the hunt.
Will Hewitt with the throwback Newport sponsorship on board his Chevy Camaro. Or in this case, I think it was the Impala SS. Maybe it's the Chevy SS. I don't even remember anymore.
It's a Chevy.
Does it say Ford on the back? Nope, says SS. We're good.
Okay, good. Just checking.
I've seen that before, but whatever.
Heck, I've seen it say Audi before.
We're going to pull Chris
And
Klein
Hewitt
up into the booth here. He's our 3rd qualifier for now. Hewitt goes 11th quick. Chris, it's Steve and Zach in the booth. You got me?
Yeah.
Chris, congratulations, man. A solid lap in qualifying. You're on the front row for a moment there, but I don't know, maybe you had to run away and use the little boys' room. But either way, a quick lap, still only 34 thousandths off the pole time that Bettini laid down. What was the strategy? What was the key to success for running a quick time here in single car runs? And what could you have done differently to be a little bit quicker?
I think on that second lap, I missed turn 3 a little bit getting in there. Colt's provided me with some awesome setups. He's last second sent me something to try, and it turned out to be pretty fast. Driver made a little error there. I've never been good at qualifying on these super speedways, so to be anywhere up front's pretty exciting.
Well, you're going to have to race your way into a better position in the duels, or at least to maintain it. That's coming up next. Good setup in qualifying. Does that translate to good setup in the draft?
I hope so. We had a practice race a week ago and was able to stay up front pretty much the whole race. It looks like right now me and JJ are going to end up in the same duel, so that's pretty exciting. Both of us starting up front, hopefully be able to maintain hold both lines and kind of control it a little bit and stay up there and maintain those starting spots for the big race next week.
All right, Chris. Well, good luck the rest of the way, man. Nice run.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Steve.
It's Chris Klein, 3rd place on the board so far. Zach, those times are getting closer here in the top 6, 7 cars. At least the top 6 separated by 78 one-thousandths of a second is Will Jones out on the track.
Yeah, you're starting to see that cream rise to the top, Steve.
First lap for Will Jones, 50.634. Will opened up the wheel a little bit on exit as well. Will Jones back to the tri-oval, coming to the stripe. 5th quick, 50.223 for Will Jones. Matt Nicholson should be next in his number 4 Chevrolet. And maybe Nicholson is no longer here. Looks like Colt Ansley's going to roll. Nicholson either missed his time to go or opted not to qualify, which is an option for these drivers. So, Zach, I want to ask you about this because we've seen you get in and out of pit lane like a bat out of hell in a lot of these places. How important is it leaving pit lane on your qualifying attempt?
One would think it's pretty important to get up to speed as quick as possible, but the way you scrub your tires coming around turn 2, it's actually the opposite. As weird as it may seem, it's the opposite. You really want to keep the RPMs low and really not put any wheel in it, and then get to power at a really kind of a specific spot to make sure you got the most speed coming out of 4 coming to your second lap.
Sounds like I'm inquiring on some of those secrets without realizing it.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
It's Cole Ansley with an opportunity here to put the race car on pole position. Would need to do just that if he wants to keep the hope alive to win some money down here in Daytona. First lap for Colt, 50.246. Puts him 7th. It's only 72 thousandths off pole.
Boy, cutting the apron though, coming to your second lap. I'd be really surprised if he gets an equal or better lap here.
But then again, he might be set up to have that first lap be his fast lap. Seen a couple of guys make that work. The majority, though, lap 2 tends to be faster.
Yeah, we saw the setup definitely work for Chris Klein, so I don't know, maybe this setup's just got something a little extra to it.
No, that's a good point. Klein was third quick with pretty much the same set. Maybe a tweak here, a tweak there. We're going to find out in a minute as Colt crosses the line, and he stays the same. In fact, slows down about a tenth slower on lap 2.
Yeah, and I think that was just the apron coming to lap 2, unfortunately.
Derek Runge now on the number 42. And that car is right on the racetrack.
I like what we're seeing, though. I like this lap 1 on top. I mean, you never really want to get really close to the wall because it feels like the downforce really holds you back a little bit. But if you're going to sacrifice your first lap, Steve, you might as well actually sacrifice and get the best run off 4 you can get.
Yeah, a lot of times you've heard drivers talk about being really close to that safer barrier. It actually produces some turbulent air to the right side of the race car and actually creates a little more drag. Usually if they straddle that striped white line at the top, that's usually about as close as you want to get.
Yeah, and it's true, and it is different car to car. I'm not super familiar with these ARCAs, but like the next gen, for an example, it's a massive difference. It'll pull you back and you can actually see it.
Runge on lap 2, 14th quick on his first, 50.608. Just about 4.5 tenths shy of pole.
Looks like he did a real nice job opening the wheel on exit of 2. Definitely nice and smooth. Good transition.
Right down to the grass and real loose.
Oh, it was real loose on him there.
Does it count?
Hopefully it didn't cost him.
Does it count?
Nope, it won't count.
No. Invalidated lap. Got to the grass. Too much of it. It looked good, but he's certainly got that thing flat to the ground. We noticed that on the first lap. He's got the thing sealed off on all 4 corners, which means no grip. Almost had it.
Oh, man, I think that was going to be a good one, Steve. It looked darn good.
Next up will be David Bradford. Will he roll out on the Speedway? Yes, he will.
The old Crown Apple machine. What a beauty.
Just need some ice and a glass.
Oh, I can't beat it.
Maybe a splash of water. David's top speed, the end of the backstretch, already pretty high. He's the first driver I've really seen crack 179 on the outlap into 3.
I've seen the majority about 178 right at the line coming to lap 2. Let's see where David lines up here.
A little shy. 50.973 for Bradford. Bradford never usually a threat for pole on these super speedways. He's going to be up in the top 10, I think, but where David excels on these super speedways, I think it's the patience and the ability to take care of the car. Obviously, when things happen and it's not a you're doing, it kind of is what it is, but he's not going to put himself in bad spots. That really goes not just on the speedways, but really anywhere you see the 13 show up.
Yeah, and if it was between the two qualifying well and that, I'd pick that all day.
Wow, 50.569. Now that's where the advantage is going to go to Bradford, is in the duels, is taking care of his stuff. Corey Bigley will be next. Or will it? Bigley maybe opting not to roll. Oh, Nicholson out of order here. Maybe missed his opportunity. Usually you have to go last when that happens, but either way, Nicholson out on the track right now. Going to take his attempt a little later in the order. He's trying to chase that car up the track, I think intentionally, but I think all he's doing there is scrubbing speed. First lap for Nicholson, 50.74, 16th on the board.
Yeah, a little bit of movement there mid-corner.
Colt Ansley in the chat says kind of screwed the pooch on both laps. Let's see if we can pull Colt up here and talk to him about that lap. I got to find him here. There he is. Pull him up here. All right, we got Colt back in the booth. Colt at Stevens Aquatrek Limits. You there?
Yeah, man, I gotcha.
Colt, let's talk about your lap. You said it in the chat, kind of screwed the pooch on both of them. What was really the areas of negativity, I guess you could say, on those two laps for you?
Well, just my own stupidity, I guess. Just cut the apron a little too early and just wasn't able to, I guess, upset the car a little bit. And so, yeah, just driver error on my own part, and hopefully a race step would be better.
All right, Colt, thanks for checking in with us, man. Good luck in the duel.
It's so good.
Thanks, bud.
That was perfect.
That was so damn good. Well done, sir.
He stuffed a bunch of marbles in his mouth to get it done, too.
It was perfect, man.
Spot on. Now Mark Truxell out on the speedway. Now I believe Corey Bigley may have exited the session. Will not take a lap in qualifying. We'll see if he ends up coming back. I would assume he'll run at the end. Only a few more drivers to go. Of course, Truxell on the speedway, 17th quick on his first lap, followed by Bobby Hamilton Jr. and then AJ Rogers. Then potentially Corey Bigley if he decides to come back and make an attempt.
He does have a whistle when he talks. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a 16th of an inch gap in his teeth.
It's so hard to master. Oof.
Truxell not terrible, 50.393. Might have gave up a little in the trial on lap 2, but that's not a terrible spot. He'll start about 6th, I think, in his duel.
Yeah, it looked like he got it kind of down a little late on that, and boy, he really stuck him right in the middle of it.
Corey Bigley has made it to the racetrack. He's out there on his out lap, so it'll be Bigley, Hamilton Jr., and then A.J. Rogers, I believe, the final 3 cars. Now, I don't want to concern anybody, but when I go to my iRacing page here, it says I'm currently not logged in. Check your network. I see on YouTube we're still live, so I guess we're okay, but if we have a problem, you've been warned.
It was acting a little funny for me earlier today, too. Crashed a couple times.
Even in this session, I'm noticing some frame loss that I don't normally get. Bigley across the stripe here, first lap, 22nd, 51.300. Now he's got that thing painted on the yellow line. Comes up just a hair. Loses the bottom. And he's putting wheel into it. He's going to lose some speed here in 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's down a couple mile an hour, 3-4 mile an hour now.
Does not open the wheel.
Almost kind of looks like the wrong setup, doesn't it, Steve? Because he just, I mean, 3-4 mile an hour at a place like this is killer.
That's huge. You know, the top 8 separated by less than a tenth of a second right now. You cannot afford a single solitary oops.
Yeah, I don't know if this will even break out of the 51s, honestly.
He may want to calibrate that throttle pedal. He's not getting enough go. Lap 2, where does he land? Ooh, 21st, 50.946.
Yep.
So he's going to have to race his way. Now to Bobby Hamilton Jr. See what the 25 has in store for the field. Bobby's got a whole notebook on tips and tricks on this place, whether it be in the real world or the sim. We'll see where it applies. Bobby right up against that safer barrier. He's making us a liar, Zach. Watch him put it
See
on
what those
pole
numbers
now.
look like.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
178 mile an hour down the back straightaway on the out lap.
Real good exit off 4. There's that 178. Good mile an hour coming across. This might be a real quick lap.
Oh, 19th, 50.845 for the first lap for Bobby Jr. Again, he was way up top of the racetrack, so a throwaway lap. Trying to get that car wound up best he can.
Definitely good looking mile an hour through turn 1 and 2. Opens the wheel up on exit, Steve.
Really, if you open it up and just keep it right on that seam in the middle of the racetrack there, that's about as far up as you really want to go, but it kind of sets him up for a gradual turn down into 3 and 4. Now he's got it just a few inches off the yellow line at the bottom of the racetrack. Looks like a clean lap.
See if he cuts the apron at all here.
A little late. Let's see where he goes. 10th quick, 50.33. A big pickup, though. Last car, A.J. Rogers, Bettini locked into the front row. We'll see if Roberts can stay there and make it a team front row. Again, A.J. the champion from last season. First lap in the books for A.J. Rogers, 24th, 51.139.
We'll make it fun for this last one here, Steve. Let's guess a lap time coming out of 4. See what it looks like.
I'll say 50.172.
That would be sweet.
Looks a lot like Bobby's lap, but not quite down to the bottom. He put a lot of wheel in the middle of 3 and 4, so I might want to negate my thought.
Yeah. I'm feeling a 50.87. 50.87.
Okay. Rogers across the line, 19th. Pretty good. 50.831. Good guess there, Zach.
Nice.
So Dominic Bettini, your pole sitter. And that'll do it here from Daytona for qualifying. Stay with us. We got the duels coming up next. We'll be right back after this.
Need insurance coverage that's built for speed? Frank Yea's office in South Charleston has your back. Whether you're blazing down the highway, protecting the home you've built, or setting up a legacy for your family, we've got the coverage you need. Auto, home, life, fast, simple, and made for you. Scan the QR code on your screen now to explore all our services and start a free quote today. Lock it in, save it for later, or call us at 304-744-7700 to get started. Back at Daytona National Speedway, qualifying in the books for next week's
season opener, but we're going to set the field here with 2 dual races of 15 laps apiece. Let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole position, the pole sitter for next week, a lap time of 50.174 seconds, the 49 of Dominic Bettini. Outside front row in this first duel, it's going to be from Numb Thumbs Racing, Chris Klein. Row number 2 would be Will Jones and Cole Ansley, winner of the shootout earlier tonight. Row 3, Alan DeFries and Will Hewitt. Row 4, Mark Truxell and Matt Nicholson. Row 5 belongs to David Bradford and A.J. Rogers. 11th goes to Andrew Phipps. Corey Bigley will start from the 12th spot, and rounding out the field, shotgun on the field from Lone Star Racing, the number 81 of Brandon Minnick. Still waiting for a couple drivers to get gridded up. Chris Klein, Colt Ansley, and Will Hewitt need to take the grid.
It's like just waiting on one.
Dr. Hewitt, paging Dr. Hewitt.
I don't think that's how that saying goes, Steve.
I don't know. Sounded good. There he is. All right.
There he is. Game on.
Away they go. 1 pace lap. We'll be racing the next time across start finish. Dominic Bettini, pole sitter next week, and Chris Klein will lead the field to green.
All right, so here's the fun part, Steve. We get to see who forgot to take the qualifying setups out and blow up in about 2.5 laps.
There's always one. They usually go from the back to the lead, and then they blow up.
Yeah, it's a glorious exit.
Tell you, looking at Chris Klein's car, it seems like that thing's in the opposite yaw, like the left side, left rear is actually pinned towards the infield a little bit. That is a huge advantage. I don't know how he's managed to do that, but or just an optical illusion, but it looks good.
Does look good.
Got Braden Bradford in the chat, says money on David. He's biased.
Yeah, a little biased, but safe bet nonetheless.
Race details tonight. Shootouts in the books. That was a 10-lap race, and that was crazy exciting. This one will be 15 laps. There'll be a second one coming up afterwards.
What are you thinking here, Steve? Got a pick?
Oh.
I got mine lined up, ready to go.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to go with the 57. Andrew Phipps.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. I'm thinking Mr. Murphy.
Who are you going for? Base car is in.
Now I got to pick somebody quick.
Green flag.
Green is in the air.
Well, if he's not this one, Steve, I'm going to go with the safe bet. Truxell.
Mark Truxell. Oh, some shucking and jiving in the back of the field already.
Uh-oh.
Might have been it was Brandon Minnick and Corey Bigley. He called his shot earlier, said he was going to be a menace. I think Minnick's on a controller.
Oh my God. He's swerving all over the place.
Up a couple of spots as Klein jumps out to the early lead. Off the front bumper of Cole Ansley. Klein
Minnick's
keeps
going
it
right up the
top.
middle of it.
Albert Anderson in the chat says, my money's on Klein. Leads lap number 1 by just a few inches over Dominic Bettini. Oh, trouble already. Big trouble. Chris Klein in the fence.
Caution.
Caution on the speedway early
you doing
here at
there, kid?
Daytona. Will Hewitt involved, Alan DeFries involved. Hewitt trying to get righted. Alan DeFries in the grass, and Minnick was in this as well. Gotta wonder if it was related to his controller. I believe he's racing on a controller. He has in the past. Nope, Mike Fahey confirms. Nope, he's on a wheel. He had a pretty stellar setup back in the day. I know he sold that one. I don't know if he's still working on the Logitech stuff. Fahey can probably let us know. Let's go back and take a look. Terrible angle. Let's try this.
Something happened to Chris Klein's car there.
I think it started up front. Will Jones got in the back of Bettini and then got into the 51.
God, right at the front of the pack.
Cole Ansley just narrowly missing that, but a huge impact for Chris Klein. It's really just all wreck avoidance that turned into the wreck.
Ooh.
Chris Klein clearly taking a meatball flag from that one. Lots of damage on the 51, and it appears no fast repairs in this dual session. So what looked like a solid start position for next week at Daytona has gone out the window very early for the 51 of Chris Klein.
That's how quick it can happen.
Certainly doesn't look like fun.
Crazy, Steve. Just you're at the front of the field where you think it's safe. I mean, it just goes to show you it can happen really anywhere at these places.
Want to try and watch that from Will Jones's perspective if we can. Go full speed here. Really just looked like a very ill-timed push getting into turn 3, and it really shot him up the track into Chris Klein. Fahey says, no controller, just quick hands.
Says he was better with a controller and a bead bag chair.
Yeah, who needs a rig?
Right?
Naked eating Cheetos.
Ainsley had a pretty good save there during that wreck. He was turned sideways pretty good and turned it back and saved it.
He just narrowly missed getting into Klein. It looks like Jones might have actually straightened him back out.
Yeah, it might be.
Yeah, DeFries caught him in left rear. And no, there was no contact with Jones. That was all driver.
Hopefully it doesn't get any little door damage there. Looks good. Looks clean.
Watch this angle.
Doesn't get any closer.
On board with 86. Yeah, got him right square in the driver door. Should be all right.
Little neck code there with damage, but it looked like it benefited him. I don't see anything.
So first caution of these duels. Of course, the season just now getting started. Anxiety levels high. Chris Klein now listed down 1 lap. Lots of repairs certainly to make on that 51. He may end up sitting the rest of this one out, unfortunately. Albert Anderson in the chat. I will never make another prediction. Sorry, Chris.
The curse is real.
Will Hewitt at the back of the pack trying to get caught up. And Chris Klein has made it back out onto the speedway, only 1 lap down. Wow.
That looks awfully clean.
They may have a
For having
fast
the front
repair.
ripped
He
off.
may not have had it checked.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that car's
So
brand
Chris
new.
Klein, he needs a caution in the worst way and get his lap back. Only car lap down, so if there is a caution, he'll get it as long as he doesn't make contact with anything or anyone.
I mean, if you're Klein at this point, you just let everybody by you, suck up the draft the best that you can, and hope there's another wreck that you're not in.
Yeah, you really should just ride last. Stay with the draft and just wait for it.
Pace car makes the left turn down pit lane, ready for the restart here.
Green, green, green.
Do it, Barney.
Bettini gets away side by side for second is Bradford and Ansley. See Colt bobbing and weaving there. I don't know if that's intentional or if he's got suspension damage. Dominic Bettini still in charge here through 3 and 4. Headed back to start finish. Car draft on the bottom of the racetrack. More cars up top, but they're not real organized single file. Everybody's kind of bobbing and weaving. Bottom lane, though, lined up nice and tight single file. That's why they're starting to get some distance on the outside lane. Colt Ansley dropping back in a hurry. Ansley now losing a spot to Brandon Minnick. Minnick now leads the charge on the outside lane.
Everybody kind of jumping out of that top lane to get low.
These guys are all over the place right now, just trying to get a handle on things. A.J. Rogers there in 7th. Minnick to the outside with no help. Little bit of a bump draft middle of the corner from Colt Ansley. Bettini still in charge. David Bradford in tow. Corey Bigley 3rd. Mark Truxell 4th. Andrew Phipps now up into the top 5. Phipps up 6 positions from the drop of the green flag. Bigley thinking about sneaking to the outside, thinks better of it, stays tucked in behind Bradford.
Yeah, might be just a little too early still, but David Bradford's right where he wants to be.
Like I said, David's not going to make any kind of brazen moves here unless it's when it's time to get it done. Big run coming from behind him, though. Bigley has to check up. So does Rogers. Top 4 under a blanket as they roll down the back straightaway. Will Hewitt car length off the back bumper of Rogers. With Will Jones in tow in P6.
Yeah, I'm thinking these guys are probably going to stay right in line right at the end unless they start getting pressure from that top line, which you see who's leading that thing.
On board with Will Hewitt as Minnick with a run to the outside.
Platinum Grady's Adult Superstore.
How'd they get that one past the sponsor check?
Boy, beautiful. They rolled that right out of the truck. Get organized up there.
Minnick jumps on a line. Makes a move
Minnick
3
goes to the
wide into
outside.
turn number 3. Rogers up the racetrack, trying not to wreck himself. Tried to tuck down in front of Cole Ansley. Not enough time to do it. Ansley's going to take the spot. Rogers is going to lose a handful there as he slides back into the 11th position.
Ooh, trouble there. Truxell. 57 got the wall there. I can't tell if he's got really damage.
Right rear
damage.
quarter looks a little pushed in. Hard to tell.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
Meanwhile, Dominic Bettini continues to lead. Almost a 10th over David Bradford.
That unfortunately pretty much killed any kind of momentum that high side was going to have. See
Minnick
if they
was
get
able to get down,
reorganized in
but there he
time.
goes back to the outside, though.
Not giving up.
That's the thing with Brandon Minnick is he is very fast, and he doesn't take himself too seriously. He just says, all right, whatever, let's go for it. I got to run. I might as well use it. Will Jones now to the outside.
We'll see him jump up to this top side here. There he goes.
Trying to work the side draft around Will Hewitt, but now he's got some help in behind him with Jones, Truxell, and it looks like DeFries. Yep.
It's good timing, too, with 3 to go. See who's going to join him.
Too much help on the bottom right now. If they get lined up more, I don't think the outside's got enough power to do it. It's making it work, though. Minnick now with a fender alongside David Bradford for the second spot.
See if the leader chooses to go up and block. Little late. Not going to make it. He's going to shuffle himself right out, Steve.
Dominic Bettini from the lead. He'll probably roll all the way back to the back of the pack as Minnick takes the top spot with 2 laps to go. Will Jones now to the outside. No drafting help for the 46. Minnick in front of Bradford and Bigley. Mark Truxell may come up here and help. There's some more drivers there in line behind them that could form this line back up, but they're running out of time. A lap and a half to go.
We're going to see some magic here. If you watch Minnick control both lanes here, it's going to be swinging here.
He's already trying to throw blocks, but Bradford gets the run to the outside, making a move around the 81 for the top spot as he roll through 3 and 4, coming to the white flag. Into the tri-oval, white flag in the air, final lap. Bradford leads.
Big pushes down the bottom.
Minnick all crossed up. Bradford still leads now. Will Jones all over the back bumper of the 13. Mark Truxell in third, DeFries fourth. Truxell drops down the bottom side of the racetrack trying to make a run. Oh, there goes Bradford.
crap.
He'll get turned down the back straightaway on the final lap. Makes contact with the wall, and Jones out in front. How much momentum did he lose as Minnick gets to the inside of DeFries for second? And Bigley goes around. Big time wreck behind the leaders. Bettini all wadded up. Drag race off at turn 4, coming to start finish. Checkered flag is waving. Will Jones in charge, and he's gonna win it.
Chaos.
What a mess.
Oh, chaos. Love it.
Just goes back to the benefits of this being a sim, because that pole-sitting race car, Dominic Bettini, is going to the scrapyard, while Will Jones is going to the checkered victory lane.
Yeah, there's a lot of cars in the scrapyard. Pretty much 3/4 of the field after that last run.
Digifix.
Great run by Will here. Just put his car where it needed to be and timed it perfect.
No celebration for Will Jones as we're going to get right into our second duel. We're not wasting any time here. So Will Jones, your winner here in duel number 1. We'll see if we can try to get him for an interview after the second duel. We'll talk to both of our winners. But let's get to it. Our starting grid for duel number 2 on the pole position. The 11 outside pole sitter for next week's race. It's Rodney Roberts. Starting in the second spot, 31 thousandths off that time. It'll be Braden Bradford. Row number 2, Keenan Kimber and Jeremiah Holt. Row 3 will be Bobby Hamilton Jr. and Drew Blaze. Row number 4, the 19 of Mike Fahey with Ken Couch to his right elbow. Row 5 will be Derek Runge and Ryan Dunkelberger. Frank Griffith, 11th. Terry Wilson will start in the 12th position. Last but not least, the 56th of Josh Ingram rolls off 13th. Well, we got a chance before they make their laps here. Let's see if we can pull Will Jones into the booth while everybody's getting gridded up. Will, it's Steven Zach with Track Limits. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Will, congratulations, man. A thrilling finish. You pick up the win here. Walk us through those closing laps. We saw the 13 of Bradford go spinning down to the infield wall. What happened?
I don't know. I was just trying to push him to the win, and I don't know. I guess our bumper didn't line up or something, but I sure ain't celebrating. That's if that's what you think. I'm upset about this race.
Well, a win's a win. I know it's not a points race, but it certainly has implications to next week. Either way, a job well done, a strong race for you, but certainly not happy circumstances. Either way, Will, thanks for talking to us, man, and good luck next week.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
It's Will Jones, certainly not an intentional move. Those guys have been teammates in the past. They work well together. Will Jones, certainly a good driver out there. It's not the type of thing we typically see, but we're all human, man. Sometimes things happen, and it is super speedway racing after all. Those sorts of things, they will happen.
Yeah, he's one of the cleanest out there. I think everybody that's raced around Will knows he would never do anything like that on purpose, but boy, either way, it's a great win. He was there when he needed to be, and he got it.
Duel number 2 about ready to get underway. Rodney Roberts and Braden Bradford will lead the field to green. Another 15-lap race. Settle it here at Daytona to set the rest of the field for next week's season opener. 15 laps, one faster pair, it does appear. We saw Chris Klein take advantage of that. Well, I don't even remember who I picked in the first duel.
Well, it's easier for me, Steve. I'm going to pick the same guy since he wasn't in the first race.
Well, yeah, you picked Fahey, so we'll go with that.
Yeah.
I think I picked Mr. Phipps the last time, but we're going to go green here. I'm going to go with... He's not going to like me for this, so I'm going to go Bobby Hamilton Jr.
Green flag.
Nice.
Green is in the air. Overlay not cooperating here. We'll see if we can get that fixed here in a minute. Oh boy. All right, we got her fixed. Field into 3 and 4 for the first time. Roberts leads Keenan Kimber. Kimber with connection issues still. You got to be careful of that 65, and that's certainly something that every driver on the speedway is concerned with when they see that. Makes you hesitant to want to work with that driver. Braden Bradford, top of the racetrack. Big time help from the 88 of Drew Blaze, but maybe a little too much help. Showing him up the racetrack, almost got into the outside safer barrier. Braden continues to lead now. Big push from Drew Blaze. Inside lane not going. It's kind of the opposite of what we saw, but here comes Bobby Hamilton Jr. to the inside. No real help, and man, these guys are really getting separated early here.
tell you, Steve, I've been on the receiving end of some of those Drew Blaze pushes, and he just leans right on you, and you better hang on because he's going to send you right through. He does a heck of a job.
You gotta wonder how much engine temperature is Drew Blaze creating here on the inside of that thing.
Put Mr. Magoo up in the mirror, Steve.
Yeah. Top three unchanged, Bradford, Blaze, and Couch. Seems like the last four drivers in line have lost the draft. There may have been an issue on the start. Terry Wilson all by himself. Frank Griffith the same. Keenan Kimber a ways back with significant damage on the nose of his number 65. Not sure what happened to him. I don't show any issues on the racetrack to indicate a crash, but Jeremiah Holt tucked in behind. He's going to surpass him in a hurry. Back out front, though, Drew Blaze now making his way around Braden Bradford will take the top spot off the nose of Bobby Hamilton Jr. Bobby now going to the outside with the 56 of Ingram going with him. Coming to 11 laps to go.
Ooh. Heck of a moment there between Drew Blaze and the 56 car. Ingram made some contact and almost killed each other in that tri-oval. Tell you what, Steve, this is exactly what Drew Blaze and Mike Fahey want, being teammates lined up second and third. They want to keep just like this until that white flag lap.
Certainly no issue on trying to save fuel, but yep, just run there and behind. You really almost don't want to be the lead car there in the closing laps of these things because you don't have any benefit of another car ahead of you. As soon as that guy pushing you pulls out of line, your car starts to slow down, but if you've got help from that second spot, it's easy. Well, I say easy with quotations in the air. It's easy to run by that lead car. Bobby Hamilton Jr., though, going to make that number 25 H&H Unlimited Chevrolet awful wide when it comes down to it. Manufacturer change for that team this season. They ran the Ford Mustang last year. Derek Runge pulling out of line mid-pack. Ingram may end up going with him here. Thought about it, though. Thinks better of it. Dumps back down low. Oh, real loose on exit. Does he save it? Roberts hangs on to it.
What a catch. I think they might just barely hang on to this draft, too, Steve. Very fortunate.
Ingram's got to stay tucked in behind Roberts here. If he pulls out, tries to get fancy with things, they may lose the drafts ever still. Now Runge in behind Braden Bradford on the outside. Roberts is tucked up. So Bobby Hamilton Jr. now with the race lead. Oh, trouble! Bradford goes around.
Caution's out. Tell us what you got when you get a chance.
Yellow here at Daytona.
Boy, that's just like the other Bradford crash, Steve. The bumper's just not aligning. That just looked like a violent turn.
He was off to the right.
Boy.
Yeah, way off center. You just can't push that way, and it wasn't intentional. It just, his car washed out more than the 84. Of course, he's in behind Bradford there. Little arrow tight on exit, and the momentum carried them. They made contact, and that's the end result.
Man.
Pit's open. We do have some takers, of course. I think most of them involved in the incident. There's a few. Ingram's going to come down here. Might as well take the opportunity to bolt some tires on it. Again, only a 15-lap race, but with the drivers involved in that incident, Ingram may be able to get down there, put tires on, and get back out without losing a spot. Maybe lose a spot now, losing some time having to back up in the pit stall. Bradford real slow exiting pit lane. Might have had it in the wrong gear leaving the box. So we should get the 1 to go signal here, coming to 5 laps to go. Bobby Hamilton Jr. leads Drew Blaze, Mike Fahey, Ryan Dunkelberger, and Ken Couch. Further down the line, it'll be Terry Wilson, Frank Griffith, Jeremiah Holt, Rodney Roberts, Derek Runge 10th, Keenan Kimber shown 11th, Ingram 12th, and Braden Bradford after that crash shown in 13th. However, still on the lead lap. And if you look closely, that car's all better. So opportunities abound.
Notice how fast Minnick could make it up.
What's that?
Minnick made it from the back of the pack to the front in what, about 2 laps?
About 2, yeah.
Yeah. Plenty of time.
And there we go. Pace car lights are out. So we'll have a 4-lap shootout to finish it, barring any cautions.
We'll have to see if Fahey burps the throttle here on this restart to let Drew down in front and continue that LSR line for the finish.
The key here, you look at the guys at the front of the field, none of them are on the front row for next week. So all these positions matter. Obviously, these guys want to win these races, but at the same hand, do you not push as hard at the end of this and take a solid finish to have a decent start next week, or do you just go for the gusto and try to get everything you can?
Man, I think it's a dual race. You go for it. You send it.
So another thing iRacing could add is a format to match what we're trying to do here. Like if you wreck the car, you got to go to the backup.
Yeah, that'd be kind of neat. Realistic.
And it comes with like a 15-pound weight penalty or something stupid.
That would be awful.
Especially if there's a lot of green flag stops.
You just got to drive with your wheel inverted. So rights are left and lefts are right.
Yeah. All right, we're ready for the restart. Pace car heads to pit lane. Driver's waiting until the last second to get caught up. Green flag is in the air. Good restart for Bobby Hamilton Jr. Same for Mike Fahey in the second spot on the inside lane. Outside's Drew Blaze. Ryan Dunkelberger. Terry Wilson way up the racetrack. Gathers it up. Fahey changing lanes in front of Drew Blaze. You called that one there, Zach. The LSR boys together. They got a big-time run. As soon as he pulled out, the 25 lost all his momentum, and there's trouble behind.
How's my radio been today? Could you hear me fine?
Oh, the 73 just drives right into it. Jeremiah Holt got to hold the brake. So second caution. This will send us to, I believe, an overtime. Try to get a better look at this. '73 initially getting into the 54 of Frank Griffith.
Yes. Hard to tell. We're still in the straightaway there, so. Ooh, that's a good hit.
Try to get a better view of this. We'll go to the roof cam of the 73. He just came up off the wall. Nah, Frank is coming up a little bit too, though.
Yeah, it's just kind of a mixture of both, unfortunately.
So with 3 laps to go, during that exchange, Mike Fahey had taken the top spot.
Gonna have to call it again here, Steve. This was the best case scenario for the LSR guys. Starting first and third, they're gonna lock up that inside, be able to time the restart.
Now, who does Bobby have behind him that can help push? We do have Braden and David Bradford in the broadcast waiting room. We're going to pull them both up into the booth here and get a word with the Bradford family. Braden and David and Steve and Zach in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, man.
So
Braden, you got him?
Your duel did not finish the way that you wanted it to, David, and unfortunately for Braden, he's still got an opportunity here. Braden, do you want to be in this chat while we're getting ready to go green, or you want to jump out?
I mean, I can.
It's up to you, buddy. We don't want to screw you up.
Oh.
No, you're good. Yeah.
Well, David, walk us through what happened with you and Will Jones there. Obviously, I don't think it was intentional, at least on our end, but what happened there on the backstretch at the end of Duel 1?
I mean, he was just trying to help me the best he could, Steve. It's obviously when you're sliding down the backstretch, it's really easy to be mad about stuff like that, but once you're done sliding, then you're just like, well, he was just trying to help, and that's all he was trying to do. He was trying to help. And, a little bit of sticky bumpers tonight, it feels like, because I feel like he was on me pretty straight and just I don't know, man. It just turned me around down the backstretch. I mean, we were going to run 1-2 there. I don't think anybody was going to get to us. The setup Derek's made for this particular week and next week seems to be a real good one. So I think we're going to be really strong in the race. Just have to start from the back and work our way forward, it looks like.
Well, I wish you the best of luck for it, certainly. Who's your pick here before this one's over? Think Bobby's got a shot, or is he out on an island by himself?
Bobby's got a good shot. I don't know if he's quick enough. I think Fahey and Blaze here are going to be really tough to beat. I know they're on the same team, so I think they're going to be tough to beat here.
Braden, we're coming to 1 to go. We'll get to you real quick here. You're further in the field here. Looks like running 9th here on this restart. You got the faster pair. You've got an opportunity. Anything can happen. What do you feel about it?
I mean, you just said it. Anything can happen, so hopefully I'm fortunate, don't get caught in a wreck, and that's that.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for chatting with us. We're going to kick you out of here for now, and we'll call this restart, and hopefully the finish of this thing. Good luck the rest of the way, Braden.
Thank you, sir.
It was David and Braden Bradford here, getting their take on what's gone down here tonight. Braden's still in the race car, so we certainly thank him for talking to us. Well, so far our picks, 1 and 2. Will it stay that way, Zach?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, there's only 3 to go, but that seems like a real long time.
You know, Bradford had this thing won here on the backstretch on the last lap. It didn't turn out the way he wanted it to.
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, you can see the start-finish line coming to it. It's just, still, anything can happen. And the thing is, like with Will Jones and David, they're going to stick together. And like David said, just go right to the finish, 1-2. Same thing could happen to the LSR guys here. I mean, they could be bumper to bumper and just hit that one bump and send whoever's the front car out into the infield.
I think Bobby's best opportunity here is going to be to kind of guess when Fahey's going to fire off and just go. I mean, that's all you can do at this point, because if you don't, it's going to be tough to get through there. He's got some help in behind him in the 55, but it's a relatively unknown name, at least on my perspective, but he's got some talent, so he could be a good pusher for the 25, but in behind him, you got Ken Couch, so how willing is he going to be to help?
I don't know. I think Ken Couch has got a long time racing in the LSR series there, so I don't know. We could see the 3 of these guys working together if he can get down there. We'll see.
Well, we're going to see right now. Pace car heads to pit lane. Barney with the green in hand. This could be our final restart.
Ready, green flag.
There it goes. Good restart for Mike Fahey. He gets away. Bobby doesn't guess right. It's a fine line to walk. If you go too soon, you can get dinged with that black flag.
We've seen how good Drew Blaze is on pushing people. I think you can push about 2 laps and not worry about the temps, but we'll see. High line starting to put it together already, though.
It's not even going to be 2 laps. They're not even fully up to speed. A lap and a half to go as they work down the back straightaway. Blaze now tucks up to the back bumper. Fahey gets a little crossed up. A couple drivers, Rodney Roberts switching lanes as well. Duggleberger pushing Bobby Hamilton Jr. into turn 3. Now the 65, a Keenan Kimber there. Again, watch out the connection issues he's had. A little connection break between the 88 and the 19. Drew had to check up, didn't want to push him off center. Coming to the white flag, final lap from Daytona. Oh, trouble, Fahey in the fence. Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the field is coming apart. Drew Blaze now to the race lead. We stay green, the final lap. He's got nobody behind him. Terry Wilson's a ways back with no help, and I think he might be out of the gas. Braden Bradford got through it. He's up to P3.
Terry Wilson was running around almost last earlier in this shootout, and here he is in P2.
Wilson qualified 24th out of 26 cars for next week's race at Daytona. Looks like he's going to come home into second spot here if Braden Bradford doesn't catch him. Coming down to the line uncontested, it's going to be Drew Blaze picking up the win. At the stripe, Wilson hangs on to second. So Drew Blaze takes the race win. Let's quickly take a look at the crash here on the backstretch. Very similar to what we saw in the first duel. Drew Blaze, an off-center push, just what we saw earlier. Bunch of big hits, and some guys just managed to squeak through.
Boy, the two cars that made it through were just several lanes under the apron. It's incredible. Not so washed up after all, Steve.
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. Well, we'll see what kind of celebration we get out of Drew Blaze here, if any. Interesting. Something just changed here, and that's that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the race, I guess. That one's in the books. I guess this was set up as heats and then a feature. Either way, no big deal. We can still talk to Drew Blaze post-race here. We'll see if we can get Drew up in the broadcast booth. If I can find him, there he is. We'll pull him up and get a word with the winner of duel number 2. Drew Blaze, it's Steve and Zach in the Track Limits Network booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Drew, congratulations, man. A crazy finish here at Daytona, much like what we saw in duel number 1. Contact between you and Mike Fahey on that final lap looked like an off-centered push at the most there. Walk us through what happened there coming out of the trial, though.
Yeah, I mean, I was square with him. I think it was just a little bit of a chain reaction with the guys behind me and my teammate Ken there. He said he got pushed from behind, and yeah, it was a bad chain reaction and just at the wrong time.
Well, either way, it puts you in good position to start next week's race in Daytona. How do you prepare for next week? Obviously, you've got a bunch of teammates, a bunch of guys you've raced with in the past. Do you guys get together and get a game plan for how you're going to race each other and the rest of this field?
Yeah, it's kind of, I mean, we loosely have a plan, and we try to be around each other, especially when it comes down to the end and all that. But it's really just like, especially when you're racing at a super speedway like this, it's very chaotic and everything happens in split seconds. So it doesn't always go according to a plan. So you just got to have maybe like a loose plan, try to stay around each other and be there at the end.
Well, either way, congratulations. A strong duel number 2 win for yourself, man. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, just got to thank Lone Star Racing, Team Watson, Brandon Minnick, Mike Fahey, Ken Couch, all my teammates, and everybody who's helped out to this point. And yeah, thank you for putting on the broadcast, you and Millet over there.
All right, Drew. Well, job well done, man. Good luck next week in Daytona. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Drew Blaze, your race winner here in duel number 2. That's going to close things out here tonight. We're going to talk to our second and third place finishers, though, first. We'll pull Terry Wilson up into the booth and get a word with second place, the driver of the number 3, Terry Wilson. It's Steve and Zach Millett, the Track Limits Network. You got us? And Terry has disappeared. So we'll move on to Braden Bradford and get a word with our third place finisher, who was kind of down and out when we talked to him before the restart. Braden, it's Steve and Zach in the booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Braden, congratulations, man. We didn't really have high hopes for you at the closing stages of this thing, but things went to hell in a handbasket on that last lap. You managed to work your way through and finish this one in third, man. How did it look out the windshield of that race car?
I mean, I saw them wrecking ahead of me, even the wreck before, and I just did what I was told to and drive down to the bottom.
Fair enough. Listen to your spotter. That's always a good way to go about it. I assume you had David up there in the tower watching everything going on down there. So always good to have a veteran watching on and giving you some tips and tricks as far as how to stay out of the wreck. Sometimes that's just half the battle. Now that puts you in a good position here to start next week's race. How do you prepare for the main race next week at Daytona? What's the game plan?
Really same here that we just did today. You know, stay out of wrecks, be consistent, and don't make bad moves.
All right, Braden. Well, congratulations again. A solid finish. Way to avoid the chaos. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
I'd like to thank Dad, most importantly, and everyone for not collecting me in those wrecks.
Perfect. All right, Braden. Thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
Thank you, sir.
Braden Bradford, your third place finish. I think we might have Terry back. He's in the lobby, though. Let's see. We'll pull him up one more time and see if he wants to talk here. Terry, it's Steve and Zach in the booth. You want to talk to us? That's going to be a no. All right, so Terry Wilson, runner-up here in duel number 2. Either way, a solid run for the 3. Again, sometimes it's about wreck avoidance, and you can get a good finish out of it. We talked about it earlier in the broadcast, how just keeping the fenders on these things is sometimes half the battle. So that's duel number 2. Let's go back and look at duel number 1. Of course, the top 3 finishers there. Will Jones won it, though he was not happy about it. All things considered, I don't blame him there. But Brandon Minnick came home in the 2nd spot. Alan DeFries was 3rd. And I don't think any of those guys are still around for interviews, so we're going to just skip that. Maybe we'll get a chance to talk to him again next week. With that said, congratulations again for all the drivers in tonight's race here, getting things done. Tune in next week, guys. It's going to be a fun one at Daytona. The full-length race next Sunday. Be here about, get here early. Be here at 8:30 p.m. on the East, 7:30 Central if you're keeping a clock there. If you haven't already done so, hit the like button, the thumbs up in the chat. Thanks for being there tonight, guys. A lot of you guys chatting it up. I appreciate that. Subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on the notifications in case you are new and maybe you forget that, there's a race on Sunday. Well, you'll get a nice notification when we post the broadcast and then when we go live, so you won't miss a moment of the action. Zach, none of our drivers won tonight, but I don't know. What are your thoughts?
That's par for the course for our picks, man. We don't have very good luck with that. But, yeah, I mean, qualifying was fun. Both duels were fun. We saw a lot of action. I think it's a lot to look forward to for next week. It's going to be chaos. I can't wait, man.
Certainly looking forward to it. Again, congratulations again to Will Jones and Drew Blaze picking up the win in the duels tonight. Certainly Cole Ansley for winning the shootout. And Dominic Bettini still going to be on pole position next week at Daytona. So tune in for it. It's going to be a whale of a show. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Congratulations again. And Zach, thank you for jumping in the booth here tonight.
Absolutely, man. Anytime.
Have a good night, everybody.